Hello, friends. If you were born before 1966 and you're getting a Social Security check, I want you to do something for me. Think back to your January payment this year, the first one with the 2026 raise in it. A lot of you looked at that deposit, did the math in your head, and thought, wait a minute, that's not what I expected. The raise was supposed to be bigger than that, and you're not imagining it. Something changed in 2026, and it changed quietly, the way these things always do, with no phone call and no clear explanation. Today, I'm going to walk you through exactly what happened to your check this year. The raise you got, the three things that are quietly eating into it, and the numbers you need to know for your specific situation, especially if you're still working or if you had a good income a couple of years ago. Some of this is money you can actually get back if you know to ask. So stay with me all the way to the end, because the part about getting money back is the part almost nobody talks about. Before we get into it, if you're not subscribed yet, please hit that button right now and turn on the bell. Here's the honest reason it matters. Every single year, the Social Security numbers change, the raise changes, the Medicare premium changes, the income limits change, and the folks in Washington do not send you a personal letter walking you through what it all means for your deposit. What I do on this channel is take those numbers the moment they come out and translate them into plain English before you make a decision you can't undo. The people subscribed here find out in time. The ones who aren't usually find out the hard way. So subscribe, turn on the bell, and let's get into it. Let's start with the good news, because there is some. For 2026, Social Security benefits went up by 2.8%. That's the cost of living adjustment, the COLA, and it kicked in with the payments that started in January. For the average retired worker, that 2.8% worked out to about $56 more a month, taking the average benefit from around $2,015 up to roughly $2,071. If you get survivor benefits or disability, you saw a raise too, just a different dollar amount. So on paper, everybody getting Social Security got a bump this year. That's real, and that's the number you probably heard on the news. But here's where it gets frustrating, and here's why your actual deposit may not have gone up by the full amount. Because for most of you, that raise doesn't arrive by itself. It arrives after Medicare takes its cut. If you're on Medicare, which most people over 65 are, your Part B premium is pulled directly out of your Social Security check before the money ever reaches your bank account. And in 2026, that premium went up. It went from $185 a month in 2025 to $202.90 in 2026. That's an increase of almost $18 a month right off the top. So let's do the math the way it actually works. The average person got about $56 more from the COLA, but then Medicare took almost 18 of those dollars back through the higher premium, which means the average person's real take-home raise wasn't $56. It was closer to $38 a month. That's the gap. That's why the deposit felt smaller than the headline. The raise was real, but a big chunk of it never made it to you because it went straight to your Medicare premium instead. And it's not just the premium. The Part B deductible, the amount you pay out of pocket before Medicare starts covering things, went up too. It's $283 in 2026, up from $257 the year before. So the first bit of medical care you get this year costs you a little more before your coverage kicks in. None of these are huge numbers on their own, but they stack up and they all move in the same direction, which is out of your pocket. Now, I want to talk about the second thing, eating into checks, and this one hits harder for a specific group of people. If you had a higher income a couple years ago, you need to hear this. There's a surcharge on Medicare called IRMAA. It stands for Income-Related Monthly Adjustment Amount, and what it means in plain English is this: if your income was above a certain level, you don't pay the standard $202 premium. You pay more, sometimes a lot more. In 2026, IRMAA kicks in if your income was above $109,000 as a single person or $218,000 as a married couple. And here's the part that catches people completely off guard. Medicare doesn't look at what you make now. It looks at your tax return from 2 years ago. So your 2026 surcharge is based on your income from 2024. Depending on how high that income was, your total Part B premium can climb from that base of $202 all the way up to almost $690 a month per person. On a yearly basis, that surcharge alone can run anywhere from about $1,100 to nearly $7,000 per person on top of the normal premium. Now, here's the part I promised you, the part about getting money back. Because Medicare is looking at your income from 2 years ago. A lot of people are paying that surcharge based on money they don't even have anymore. Think about it. Maybe in 2024, you were still working and you retired since then. Maybe you sold a house that year. Maybe you did a one-time withdrawal from a retirement account or a Roth conversion that pushed your income up for a single year. Maybe, and I'm sorry to say this happens, your spouse passed away and your household income dropped. In all of those cases, you could be paying a high surcharge in 2026 based on an income you no longer earn, and you can fight that. There's a form called SAA 44. It exists specifically for people who've been through what the government calls a life-changing event: retirement, reduced work hours, the loss of a pension, the death of a spouse, a divorce. You fill out that form, you show them what your income actually looks like now, and they can reduce or completely erase that surcharge. Most people paying IRMAA have never heard that this appeal exists. You can download SSA 44 at ssa.gov or pick it up at any Social Security office. If your income has dropped since 2024 and you're paying more than the standard premium, this one form could put real money back in your check. All right, the third thing, and this one is for those of you who are still working while collecting Social Security. This is common for folks in their early and mid 60s, and there's a rule here that surprises people every year. It's called the earnings test. If you are under your full retirement age for the entire year of 2026 and you earn more than $24,480 from a job, Social Security holds back $1 of your benefit for every $2 you earn over that limit. So if you're working a decent part-time or even full-time job and collecting at the same time, you might see your check reduced. And if nobody explained why, it feels like your money just vanished. But here's the important thing, and please hear me on this because it's the part that gets left out. That money is not gone. It is not lost. When you reach your full retirement age, Social Security recalculates your benefit and credits that withheld money back to you in the form of a higher monthly check going forward. So it's not a penalty, it's more like a delay. But you should know it's happening because it affects how you plan and whether it even makes sense to be collecting early while you're still earning a good income. And that brings me to something every single person watching this should know cold: your full retirement age. Because it is not the same for everyone, and a lot of people guess wrong. If you were born in 1960 or later, your full retirement age is 67. That covers everyone in that born before 1966 group who's on the younger end. If you were born a little earlier, it's slightly different. 1959, it's 66 and 10 months. 1958, 66 and 8 months. 1957, 66 and 6 months. 1956, 66 and 4 months. 1955, 66 and 2 months. And if you were born in 1954 or before, it was a clean 66. Know your exact number, because claiming before it permanently reduces your check, and every month you wait past it up to age 70 permanently increases it. That is one of the biggest money decisions of your retirement, and the government processes it without ever warning you what it costs. One last thing before we wrap, because I want you to have the full picture. Even after all of this, a portion of your Social Security benefit can still be taxable. Depending on your total income, up to 85% of your benefits can be counted as taxable income by the IRS. Now, there is some relief here for 2026. Seniors 65 and older got a new tax deduction worth up to $6,000 per person that can wipe out the tax for a lot of people. But I want to be honest with you, that deduction does not make Social Security completely tax-free, no matter what you may have heard. The taxability rule is still on the books. So if you have other income coming in, don't be surprised if some of your benefit gets taxed. So let me bring it all together, plain and simple. In 2026, your Social Security raise was 2.8%. That's real. But if you're on Medicare, the higher Part B premium of $202.90 ate into it, so your true take-home raise was smaller than the headline. If you're a higher earner, the IRMA surcharge based on your income from 2 years ago may be taking an even bigger bite. And if your income has dropped, Form SSA 44 can get some of that back. If you're still working before your full retirement age, the earnings test may be holding some of your check, but that money comes back to you later. And you should know your exact full retirement age down to the month because that one number drives everything. None of this gets explained to you automatically. The best thing you can do right now is log into your My Social Security account at ssa.gov or look at the COLA notice they sent you and actually read the numbers. See what your raise was, see what's being deducted, and if something looks off, or if your income has dropped since 2024, that's your signal to make a call or file that appeal. If this helped clear things up, do me a favor and subscribe and share it with someone you know who's on Social Security. A lot of people are quietly confused about their own check and too polite to ask. This might be the video that finally explains it to them. I'll see you in the next one.